You have no idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host Jay. I'm here with my co-host Micah.
Hey.
And Terrence.
What's up?
All right, guys, we're back. This is episode 153, Monsters and Men. This is starring John David Washington, Anthony Ramos, and Kelvin Harrison Jr. as a sort of three-perspective story of a New York wrongful police shooting. So this was directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green. You two have seen this movie, had seen it previously. I had not. But this was on my list of things I wanted to see in 2018. So I guess I'll start with Terrence because you were the first person I knew who had seen this. So what did you think of this movie?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's just kind of does its thing. It's very just middle of the road. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand its message.
Okay.
Honestly, it doesn't necessarily have one to me. I mean, it does, but at the same time, I don't think it makes it very well. It was just kind of boring. And almost, it's to me, it was boring and it was almost exploitative. Because,
why do you say that?
Because the story is not original. The guy that wrote it just took Eric Garner's story and just
100%
threw it on film.
Yeah,
It's kind of like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is it? Yeah, I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of this movie. Like, it's shot well, but it does all of the the indie movie tropes where there's a lot of sections where it's just a nothing but silence and fucking a piano playing, and I'm like, yo, how many scenes of this are we gonna have of this? What is the point of this shot? What is the point of this conversation? I don't get. What is the point of him looking in the distance at nothing? I don't get it. Like,
you never look in the distance at nothing.
Maybe sometimes a little bit, but
with a light piano playing in the background.
Right. But I'm just like, what is its purpose?
Right.
And I understand it, but it failed to me.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, it's fine. I don't recommend it, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, watch something better.
All right.
Like Blind Spotting.
Oh, you didn't think this was as good as Blind Spotting? Didn't really hit in the same ways. I would argue, no, it does not.
It's like a 2.
I mean, it is kind of funny to compare this to Blind Spotting, like as a 1-for-1, because these are both 2018 movies.
Yeah.
Like, boy, does Blind Spotting hit a lot harder than this.
Yeah, and it's way more entertaining.
Well,
I mean, this is really dark, but at the same time, like,
Blind Spotting ran that perfect line between drama and comedy.
Hits that fine line. This is just like, I don't know, we'll get into it, but I just was not. I saw it again. Watching it again, I'm just like, yeah, I still don't like it.
There you go. Micah.
I have a different comparison. I would compare this movie. I think it's more apt to compare this movie to the other Black Lives Matter movie, which is The Hate You Give.
Yeah. Hate You Give is 10 times better than this.
I 100%
is. It 100% is. You mentioned it. It does the thing that I don't like, where it's exploiting a real life tragedy for entertainment. And I don't like that, but I will give it a pass if it says something, if there's some sort of message, backed up. And I won't go as far as to say there is no message in this movie. It's just not delivered well. It's delivered very poorly. The way I understand the style of the film, but when you tell this story this way, leaving plot points just kind of unfinished, it doesn't. I was invested in the first story,
and then
then it's just like, all right, let's just move on.
Don't need it.
And,
like,
right.
What the fuck? No.
Yeah, I found that to be curious. Yeah. I'll talk about that too.
And, The Hate You Give does this so much better. It does this exact same story so much better with analogs of real life events, not just a real life event.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, I mean, he was an analog. He was a big dude selling loose cigarettes.
Right.
And was killed by the cops on the corner. And it was taped. An analog.
right. Like,
That's not what an analog is.
right. I mean, that's just lifted. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Derek Garner. That's
right. So I think I understand what it was trying to do. It just really didn't do it well. And I would not recommend this movie. I'm looking at all these tomatoes on Rotten Tomatoes. Everyone seems to love this movie, but
What's the score?
if it matters to you, it's 85% from critics and 78% from the audience.
It does not matter to me.
But yeah, man, it just it's not. There are other films that tell this story way better.
Okay. I guess for me, I would say that I would agree with both of your comparisons. I would aptly compare it to Blind Spotting, as it falls very short of what Blind Spotting does. And I would also compare it to The Hate U Give, probably more so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a better comparison.
Just because they're both, straight dramas. That being said, I think you're right. I think The Hate U Give does this story better. I mean, I didn't mind the wholesale lifting of the Eric Garner story, because it's not even really they don't really concentrate on it that much. I guess I could easily understand the idea of saying it's exploitive, because they just use Eric Garner's death, or this analog of Eric Garner, as just a way to get to the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it feels exploitive because Eric Garner was in fact a real person.
Like, it's not like the story doesn't revolve around that guy Derek Garner's death.
Right.
What
It's
was his name?
Darius
Larson.
Larson.
Larson, yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I certainly understand that exploitive point. That makes sense to me. The other part of it is I didn't mind the sort of 3-story perspective. I actually liked that element of it. I just wish they had kind of gone back and dealt with how each of them ended, and didn't just trail off the first story and then kind of just trail off the second story. And then the third story just kind of trailed off too. I was like, not that I need it tied in a neat bow, but like, it'd have been kind of interesting to somehow bring them all back and have them intersect in the end or something.
Yeah,
right? Like I would have thought that would have been creative.
When you do a story like that of just disparate people in this world, usually you try to connect everyone together for not just a passing glance, and it's just like, oh well.
Right,
I guess,
I didn't mind the passing glance in the film, right? Because those were like the handoffs. Like I'm handing the movie off to you so you can run your story. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
I'm just saying at the end,
Right, it didn't go anywhere.
It didn't go anywhere.
That's my problem. I'm like, okay, cool. Everybody they were connected in some way, like they saw each other in the streets of New York, and then they had their 3 stories, and then credits. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what was the point?
Right. Now, I'll play devil's advocate a little bit for the movie here and say that I don't know if this was the intention, but the intention could very well have been, well, that's what reality is. These things happen and life continues, right? But narratively speaking, that doesn't really work.
Yeah, that don't work for movies.
It don't work for movies. Don't worry, kids. Spider-Man doesn't need to fight the villain at the end because they just keep coming. And you just turn the movie off. Like, it doesn't quite work like that. So I can understand the perspective of wanting to portray life like that, but that works as a documentary. It doesn't work as a narrative story.
Right. That would be like Spider-Man is off to fight the Vulture, and now we follow Ned's story. Well, I want to know what's going on over there.
But Ned's got a story, my God. Let's follow Ned.
Like, come on. All right. And like you said, yeah, that's reality, but
it doesn't work in movies like that.
Doesn't work in a story.
Yeah. Like, there's supposed to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like, and I think the sort of trailing off really fucks it up. Also, I found the first story with Manny to be really compelling. And then it was just like, he's in jail with $100,000 bail. End of story. It's like,
what?
Did he die? Did he get out? Is he innocent? Like, what the fuck? So those kind of things were kind of annoying to me. Overall, I thought the movie was okay. I thought it was shot well. I agree. It does a lot of the indie movie tropes, like you were saying. I don't think it does anything new.
Not at all.
I think it is apparent, if it has not been apparent to people already, that John David Washington isn't Denzel Washington's son. He's Denzel Washington reborn. Like, he just is. If this movie came out in like 1991, Denzel Washington could have just walked right on set and played this exactly the same way. I think he would have given, maybe it's Denzel Washington, so they might have given him a little bit more to do, but he's exactly his father. It's wild.
It's creepy.
Yeah. So, if you thought, Denzel Washington's career's coming to an end. No, it isn't. He got another 40 years.
Right. It's a clone, guys.
Yeah, he's a straight clone. And it's not like
Boba to his Django.
Right. But, like, it's not like, he's not as good of an actor as his father. Like, he got it. Like, that's what's kind of disturbing, is like, he's also very good.
Yeah.
And I really just like John David Washington the more I see him in things. So I think that's good for his career. But
he looked like Charlemagne in this movie.
I already told you who he looks like without facial hair.
Yeah.
Look, shout out to Chris from the Insanity Report. Nigga, this guy looks just like you. He does. He does. Like, this shit is crazy. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I just thought it was okay. I thought the performances were really good, though. I thought the guy who played Manny, Anthony Ramos, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Like, John David Washington, and I thought Kelvin Harrison Jr. was actually pretty good too. I mean, I don't think his role was nearly as extensive as the lead of the third story, but I thought the main three were pretty good. So
yeah, I think the one word that I can use to sum up my opinion of this movie is disappointed.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted more.
Yeah.
Especially from John David Washington's story. I wanted a thin blue line, like real serious contemplation story there.
Yeah.
And we did not get that. We just got this dude doing exactly what shitty cops do. Oh, you gotta defend it. Like, no, you don't. And it also solidifies for me why I don't fuck with police officers like that. I just don't. Thanks for protecting and serve. Just do it over there. All right, so let's go through it. So the movie opens with Dennis, John David Washington's character, driving down the street. He is in a regular car in plain clothes, and he gets pulled over by the police. And before he gets pulled over by the police, he is singing, was it Al Green? And again, I was like, oh, look, Denzel Washington's in this movie. 100%. Like, it's fucking weird. So yeah, he gets pulled over by the cops, and he immediately says to the cop, like, I'm on duty, or I'm on the job, he says. And the cop goes back, takes his information, goes back to the car and lets him go. And it's really only there to show you how he's also annoyed by being harassed by police officers and being pulled over by white cops because he's black. That's the only reason. Like, he wasn't speeding, he wasn't doing anything, he's just driving and singing, which is what everybody does. So that's just kind of your introduction to him. Then we immediately flip over to meeting Manny, who played by Anthony Ramos, who is like on a job interview, and then he's like going back home. He lives in New York. He's going back home, and he goes to buy a couple of loose cigarettes from his buddy Darius, who weirdly looks like Eric Garner. A large black man selling loosies.
Well, when he was filling out his application, he checked no on has he ever been convicted of a crime.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
And later on, he got the job. I don't know if they did that on, like, they lingered on the fact that he checked that box.
Well, maybe because that's where his story ends up, is that he does. I guess maybe that he does eventually get convicted of a crime and fucking his entire life up.
But we don't know.
But we don't know because they never decided to go. This will be one of many issues.
I was like what? like when the movie ended, I'm like, but he just
did they get his bail money?
Whatever, yo.
Did
They're
they
just protesting at this point to get him out of jail. I think.
No, the protest was about Darius's death. It wasn't about him.
Wasn't his girlfriend like protesting to get his ass out of jail?
There were two protests.
One for
in the
him
film.
and one for Darius.
him and one for,
the one, the
big
impromptu.
one was for Darius.
Yeah,
but
that's right. The impromptu kind of one was.
Right.
Right.
Because people were like, oh, that's fucked up what they did to Manny. Oh, well.
Don't worry, his story is over.
Yeah, we
Ain't got to think about him now. Like,
Act 2. Just move on. So yeah, we see Manny he's just kind of like a nice guy, right? Like his life is like pretty good. He buys a stolen bike from a kid who's got way too much mouth to be so young. Knock your little ass out.
And be begging for money. Like,
Yeah.
nigga,
Oh,
you better
here,
shut the fuck up.
here's $40. Yo, give me $1. Yo, if you don't get, nigga, that fucking tight ass Dominica shape up, relax. So he's talking to Darius, and he's like, "Hey, man, take care of your mom and your wife," which that felt a little Victor Sweet to me. I was like, "Don't like that. Don't ask about my wife, nigga. Don't do that."
Take care. God damn, nigga.
Yeah, he was like, "Yo, what's up? Yo, what's up with you?" And we said something like, "Yo, what's up with your fine wife yourself?" I was like, "Yo, slow down, yo, slow down. Knock it off."
Hey, don't compliment my wife.
But it was kind of funny because he's like, "Oh, y'all gonna move somewhere like Miami Beach?" He was like, "Yo, she don't want to go to the beach. She afraid of sharks." I just found it to be hilarious. I mean, okay, that's fair, but like, it's just such a funny thing. Like, you guys just go to a pool. Just saying, safe. So yeah, after he buys the bike from the kid, gentle instrumental music plays, and it literally says that. And so it's just like a day in the life with Manny, and Manny's hanging out with this kid, and like everything is cool, right? There's something that happens connected to that kid later on, which I don't know if that's real or not, because the movie doesn't really.
Yeah, because another compelling thing about Manny's story that's just
like the cop said that, and I was like, I don't remember that.
When he gets arrested?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, yo, this movie's fucking stupid. Did he do it or not?
right.
Yeah, like why are we not aware of what's happening in the movie? Like,
That shit made me so mad.
I understand him not being aware of like the machinations behind the scenes, but like, I'm in the audience, dog. Like, I need to know. I didn't understand. I was like, because I looked down at my phone a couple of times in the movie because I was kind of bored sometimes. But I was like, did I miss? I think maybe I missed something. Like, I was going to rewind it, but I was like, I've gone too far.
No, you didn't.
I was like, they're going to explain it. They didn't. So
sure
I did a check in with you. They did not.
They were like, yeah, he told me. They were like, yeah, they told me you did it, or he told me you gave it to him. I'm like, did he? Like, I'm literally like, wait, I've seen this twice. I don't remember the handoff.
Yeah, I don't remember no gun.
Like, I don't remember the handoff.
He bought a bike from that dude.
Right.
Now, granted, that bike was probably stolen. That little kid stole that bike.
Yeah.
And then he died my boy Manny. I was like, nah, he gave me a gun.
Did it pay for the bike with a gun? Like, what the?
Yeah, yo, here's a Glock. Give me that BMX. I love doing wheelies. I'm a grown man. So, yeah, it was weird. Then you see Manny as he's riding around on a stolen bike. He runs into this kid, Zyrek, whose story is the third story, but they'll interact later on. Manny comes home. He's like, everything's copacetic. One of the things that's like, I like interesting shooting techniques is when because there's no issues going on and there's cops sitting outside of his complex. As he's walking up, they're kind of blurry to him, right? Because he's not really, he says hi to them, but he's not really focused on them. Which
they're always there.
Yeah, they're just kind of always there.
Whatever.
That becomes very different as the movie changes, as his situation changes. He's hyper-focused in noticing every cop that's around. He comes home, he sees his mom and his girlfriend. I thought that was his girlfriend because his mom was like mad young looking.
Yeah, she was like, mira amor, like... My mother didn't say, "Oh, hey, my love."
Yeah, it was a little weird. His mom was fine, though.
I mean,
I was like, I get it.
His girlfriend was fine.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with either one of them. So yeah, it seems like a nice household. That's why fucking fake Eric Garner was like, "Yo, say hi to your moms and your wife for me." Like, yo, relax, Eric. So yeah, he goes to see them, and it was kind of a weird interaction because she's like, you couldn't have called me back? He was like, I was on a job interview. She's like, like, no, but like
for real,
I'm not lying.
Like, I kind of was.
I kind of was.
Right, cool, whatever.
Like, please believe me? Like, it was weird. So then he immediately goes, changes clothes, and he's like, yo, I got to go out with my friends. It's my buddy's birthday. So they're like, all right, his mom is like, okay, be careful out there or whatever. And he gives his mom the 2 loose cigarettes that he got, right? Proving like he wasn't getting them for himself. He was just buying them, just being a good son. Also, this whole thing wouldn't have happened if people stopped smoking. It's really terrible. I think is that the message of the movie? Is that the message of this dumbass story? So later on, apparently a good time is being had by all as these guys play craps in an alley or on the street, which is a sad party. So cops roll up because, illegal gambling is a big concern for New York City police officers. Okay. And they're like, oh, look, some brown kids. Let's go fuck shit up. And they started harassing them, basically telling them, like, get the fuck out of here. And then more cops pull up on the guy Darius, our Eric Garner analog, and they start harassing him about selling loose cigarettes. Because, again, loose cigarettes are the big concern of the New York City Police Department. They have nothing else better to do, apparently. Manny starts taping them as they're harassing Darius. And, like, the cops are telling him, like, you got to back up. You can't tape here and all this other shit. Leading me to, once again, feel zero sympathy for cops because cops are terrible. Just leave people alone. Yeah. You can't tape here. Why not? Can I tape in the city? Yeah, then you can't tell me I can't tape here. Fuck off. You taping, you doing
yes,
what you doing?
I will tape it. Yeah. I will tape it. Now, the question comes later of what my actions would do.
Yeah, because this is a big deal, and I'm very interested to actually hear your perspective.
Yeah, but I would tape it. Yes.
Yeah. So in an altercation, the cops shoot. One of the cops shoots Darius and kills him. Of course, that is captured on tape or on the phone of Manny from his perspective. Now, he's pretty torn up about it because he just saw one of his friends get fucking murdered. I get it. I'd be pretty upset too. And he kind of goes home. He rewatches the film on his phone and is deeply disturbed. The next day, Manny's walking around and is more acutely aware of police activity in this neighborhood. Like I was saying earlier, everything was kind of fuzzy before. Now everything is super crisp and obvious. And there's do not cross and caution tape and all this other stuff around where the shooting happened. He's just more aware of the world around him. There's stories like New York City shoots Brooklyn man, all this other shit. And of course, the Officer Scala says, quote, he reached for my gun. I have a question. How many times are we going to run this bullshit line?
How many times is that going to work?
Yo, who are these people reaching for cops' guns?
Right. Come on, yo.
Yo, the gun is in the holster.
The gun is in the holster on your hip with a thing over top of it, and the safety should be on.
And the handle is facing away from you.
Right.
You're not. This isn't like the old West where they have the handle the other way, so they're just like, wow. Like, no, it is literally the least advantageous way to take a cop down. If he said, yo, this nigga punched me in the mouth, that would at least make sense.
Right.
Like, oh, you got a gun, I got a gun? No, I'm just going to try to hit you then. Like, I would try to hit a cop in the face far before I would be like, hold on a second, let me see if I can finesse this gun out of your fucking holster. What are you, crazy?
Right. Like, it doesn't make sense, yo. Like,
but how many times is this going to work? It's so weird. Yeah, no, you reach for my gun. Oh, yeah, no, that seems reasonable. Like,
there's 7 cops over there.
Right, thank you. That's what I was about to say.
What are you going to do? Yo,
what are you going to like, bing, 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 like, what are you, Rambo? Nigga, like, come on, yo, get out of my...
What were the rest of the tag teams doing over there? God damn, yo.
Well, once the killing starts, it's as easy as breathing. So I guess this guy was just going to take them all out. That's insane, dude. Like, it's not an action movie. He's not
use that fucking excuse when there's 5 or 6 cops around surrounding one person.
Right.
He can't use it.
He was going to grab his gun, flip it around, look, pop the holster, flip it around, grab the gun,
take the safety off,
and then shoot make sure there was a bullet in the chamber, and then shoot 5. All right.
No.
All right,
shoot the cop whose gun he stole. He goes down. All the other cops, who apparently are all turned around facing the other way, don't see any of this, and they're just like, they all have the little alert from Metal Gear Solid. And they all turn around. And then he grabs the dead cop that he murdered, uses him as a human shield, Charles Bronson style, and kills 5 cops. What are you talking about? That's insane. What judge is like, nah, that's reasonable? I'd be like, no, get this shit out of my courtroom. No, he did not reach for your gun. That did not happen. So yeah, apparently that was
he reached for your gun, but you shot him with your gun. What?
If that big nigga reached for your gun, you ain't getting it.
Right. He just put his hand on the gun. You'd be like, God damn, nigga, okay, hold up. Like, no, can I just
stop
lose it? Like, that's insane, yo. That's an insane argument. How is there no logic working? Like, where are the lawyers defending the Darius Larson's? Like, but hold up a second.
Because lawyers have to work with cops, man.
Yeah,
lawyers have to work with cops in order to get cases done. So they'll turn a blind eye, or that's why you get public defenders doing this shit.
The whole system.
They don't have the time.
They all know each other.
Yeah, they all know each other. There's a long-standing series called Law and Order all about it.
Yeah. The A story is the law, and the B story is the order. That's true. Now, here comes the order. I order you to stop pretending that someone tried to steal your gun. Yeah, that's really funny. He tried to steal my gun, so I shot him. Wow. What are you, Quick Draw McGraw? Like, what are you talking about?
What the fuck?
I popped it out of my holster. I pushed his hand away because I'm that good. I turned safety off. I aimed it properly and then shot him in the head.
Like, I don't know what it is. Look, being a cop is a hard job, I would assume, right? Yeah. But I don't know what it is about.
I don't want to be a cop.
I ain't doing it.
No,
but I don't know what it is about cops nowadays where it seems like they don't know how to fight, or they don't want to take a punch, or they are so afraid of everything. Like I remember, look, this is a terrible comparison, but I remember watching.
Can I be a little bit of a dick? Can I be a little bit of a dick? It's because cops are really fat now. Sorry.
It probably is.
But it is. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. A lot of cops and the military a lot of them are overweight. And guess what? You think some big nigga gonna be running for 30 minutes after your young ass? No. Bam, he reached for my gun, nigga. Whatever. I'm done. I'm not running, yo. I'm not running.
Well, but some of them niggas be working out.
Well, yeah, there was that whole New York story where they were on steroids.
Still pulling fucking guns out on people and shit. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Fight,
I mean, look.
Don't they teach you how to? Don't they teach them hand-to-hand combat?
They're supposed to. I remember seeing them cadets.
And when you pull your gun out, you shoot to kill.
No.
That's what you do as a cop. They don't teach you to wound. They teach you when you pull your gun out, they're going to shoot you to kill.
Yeah. Right. No, maybe they stopped like martial arts and just like gun kata. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're teaching over there. Look, I mean, but seriously, if
equilibrium and shit,
right?
But like that, I mean, but I think that's a big part of it. It's like you're trying to run.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a cop listening to this, I mean,
you about to get your feelings hurt because we ain't got the John David Washington's trifling ass in this movie. But, sorry, I don't plan on being nice.
I get
a new job.
Go in the YouTube comments or whatever, and I really want to know like what kind of training do they teach you guys? Because look, we're three ignorant guys, right? We don't know what goes on in that world, but I have to imagine that cops nowadays just are afraid to take a punch. And when I was watching Cops back in the 90s,
chasing niggas down and
man.
But that's on camera.
And the camera guys still run at the same speed and shit. which is wild.
But yeah, like you said, that's because they know they on camera.
Yeah, they on camera. They ain't trying to put a bullet in somebody's ass.
Right.
Like, we can't air this, my nigga. Like, you just shot a motherfucker. Okay, cool.
He's like, all right,
sorry.
I'll clothesline him next time. Clothesline the redneck and a wife beater.
Like they don't teach them. They don't teach them how to fight. They don't teach them how to negotiate. They don't teach them. They don't teach them anything.
There doesn't seem
and Call of Duty generation.
I mean, I would make your old man rant. But I mean, I would make the argument that at least it seems. I don't think we can say for sure because none of us are police officers.
Right.
But it would certainly seem that there is a shift towards less de-escalation. And look, I'm sure some people would say it's getting rougher out in the streets. Okay, I'll take your word for it, right? Statistics don't bore that out, but I'll take your word for it. I mean, John David Washington's character makes a good point. Like, we see a couple minutes of a shaky cam video, and we think we know what we would do. I think it's a valid argument. Because, dude, I don't know what I would do. But here's the thing. I'm not trained for this. You are. Like, that's that argument of like, you don't know what you would do because you're not a cop. You're right, nigga. You're a cop. Like, your job is to de-escalate. It's not to escalate the situation.
I might shoot a nigga.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a cop. Yeah. There's a reason why I don't have a professional job with a gun. Are you insane? Jay killed another one. Sorry. And I'm going into rich white neighborhoods. Fuck all that. I'm pulling over whatever Mercedes. You got drugs in here? Come on. I know you look. Your eyes are wide. You got cocaine in here. Come on. Like, nah, fuck that. But I just don't. I mean, I don't think it's an easy. It's certainly not an easy question. But yeah, your job is to de-escalate. Your job is not to just start firing immediately. Which apparently the guy selling loose cigarettes was just too much. But I mean, if we were talking about Eric Garner, like there was like 5 or 6 cops. He choked him to death.
Yeah, they choked him to death, yo. Like, that's a very intimate way of murdering someone. And that's like...
You literally feel that person's life leaving their body.
Yeah, man. Like, that's
far worse.
That's a whole lot of work, dude. Like,
and he's a big dude, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Like, for them to all basically jump on him and then one guy to be like, fucking try to kill this guy.
Yeah, like, that's the type of shit I'm talking about, yo. Like if you afraid, all right, like, I get it, right? Like, that job is hard. You don't want to go into a situation by yourself, even if you don't want to take a punch, right? Like, you don't want to go into a situation by yourself. But when there are 2 and 3 of you,
you're going to be all right.
You're going to be all right. Like, that nigga was not Bruce Lee. Like, he wasn't trying to fight a bunch of y'all. Like, it just isn't. Like, you get them from my, if you can't apprehend someone without feeling the need to beat the shit out of them, like when they're not. I'm not saying like if they're hopped up on goofballs or whatever. Look, it's gonna take more to get them down. I get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
in this PCP,
right?
Oh, yo, you have to be. I'm about to tasey your ass all the way up.
You have to give them the old wood shampoo. You know what I mean? But you can't.
Little tasey, bro. Nice try.
But it just. I don't know. That's why I want to sit down and talk with a
that'd be an interesting conversation, actually.
But someone that's not like a dick.
Good luck. Sorry.
Like, I really want to know. So, comment.
Yeah,
I dare you.
I mean, it would be an interesting conversation. Like, I would block time to have a convection with a beat cop because I'd be you don't even have to show your face because I understand that would be a thing too, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I would want to talk to a black police officer, active duty black police officer, because there is a difference in being a white person patrolling a black neighborhood and a black man patrolling a black neighborhood.
Honestly, I would want to talk to a white one. I think I kind of understand the mindset of the black cop, and he has to do what he feels is right, and he has to do what he feels according to the law and according to morals, and like it's
yeah, but that I think is the weird soup part of it,
right? But I understand that, right? I don't understand white cops at all.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't understand why. I saw a video the other day of some cop, and he fucking grabbed the back of some black kid's neck like he was a fucking dog. and slammed him up against a car. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, yo? Like, he's a child, man. And his kid's white friends had to come up and exercise their white privilege. Like, this is how you do it. And they're like, no, what the fuck are you doing, cop? And then the cop is like, I'm going to take you to jail. Didn't touch him. Didn't touch them.
They're like, no, you're not. No,
Right.
you're not. My dad's a judge. No, you're not.
So I just...
Do you know who my dad is? Like, all right.
yeah, if you're a white cop or a black cop, I would like to... I want to talk to a black cop just to kind of rap with him and like... Yeah, let me buy you a beer.
What's your problem?
Well, yeah, because it depends. Because some black cops are like
The worst.
yeah, some black cops are like that dude from Boys in the Hood and shit.
Yeah. You think you smart?
Did you kill him?
Not a nigga off the street. Like, all right, yo. Like, interview.
Filing a complaint? No need to file paperwork, Dan. All right, nigga. God damn. Jesus Christ.
Did you kill him? Jesus. Man, I put a fucking magnum hole through the door. Relax. Yeah, that dude was out of hand. Like, I don't like that dude personally as an actor.
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
Nah, yo, fuck your whole career, yo. You were leaning into that Clarence Thomas shit way too heavy, yo. Like, god damn. He was like, nah, I got this. I don't even need a script. Like, all right, yo, Jesus Christ. I don't like him in that neighborhood. Like, all right, relax. So Manny's pretty broken up. He ends up going to Darius's funeral alongside his girlfriend and his mother. He ends up in the park with them later on.
Darius was ex-military. Don't forget that.
Oh,
He had his
Yeah, he had his army uniform.
uniform on. Yep. Because of course.
what do you feel the significance of that is?
They don't give a fuck.
Even if you serve the country.
Yeah. He served his country. He served his country and they still shot him.
Yeah.
Just because.
Oh, they probably looked at him and was like, oh, he's way too fat to be in the military.
Not anymore, you're not. Shit. We got a standing and a sitting army. The fuck out of here. Big as fuck. I don't care. Like literally recruitment is down because of that. So while sitting in the park, after the funeral, Manny gets a call basically from that job that he applied for, and they're like, look, you got the job, when can you start? And so he's really happy about that. And just as his luck seems to be turning around, two fucking gabagools from the
yeah, no kidding.
dude, these guys are fucking massive Italian stereotypes. Hey, we're from the local police department. Officer Capicola and Officer Linguini Spaghetti over there. They come up to him and they're in plain clothes and they're like, look, hey, why don't you shut your fucking mouth? So they,
He's like, yeah, I lost a partner 5 years
Yeah, I know
ago.
just how you feel.
I know just how
buddy.
you feel. I lost a partner. It's like, I know what you think you saw, but you didn't really see. I'm like, nigga, I had that shit on tape.
he's like, did you? Let me see your phone.
Like, let me see your phone. No, fuck you. Get out of my face.
Look, these two cops make me so fucking angry. Dude, they really do. Like, there are a lot of things about the cops in this movie that piss me off. Just rolling up on somebody in the middle of the day, being like, "Watch your fucking mouth." In plain clothes.
These two are the
fuck
most-
the two of you both.
These two are the most accurate representation of fucking cops that I've ever seen in my life.
No, this is 100%.
They
might be
100% are.
They might actually be cops.
Yeah.
They just showed up on set. They were
They're
like,
like,
can we
what
be
the
in this? Oh, we were
show
this
you how it's
Mexican
done.
kid? He's Puerto
They
Rican.
had actors. They were like,
Whatever.
"Now, fuck it, get out of here. Let me show you how it's done."
Right.
Like,
Oh, it's a documentary?
First off, my cousin's from Boston. I know exactly what I'm doing. Have you heard of Marky Mark? Favorite rapper. I love the guy. Blinded an Asian once. These two fucking assholes came out there, and then his girlfriend, Manny's girl, after he talks to them, Manny's girlfriend's like, "You better not be selling drugs." He's like, "Yo,
Can you shut the fuck up, please?
like, you trying to blow all my shit up?"
like they still in earshot, my nigga. Come on. All right.
And he's like, "I'm not selling drugs." He's like, "They just told me to basically watch what I say, because I filmed because I saw Darius get killed." And then later on, they have a conversation, Manny and his girlfriend in bed, and about how she doesn't want him to release the tape to the public because he just got this new job and she's about to graduate. Like, she doesn't want him fucking up their whole life, which I understand. I understand this perspective immensely. Like, the idea of protecting yourself versus protecting the greater good, right? You locally or globally kind of thinking. So herein lies the question. Do you release the tape if you have it? You got a family. You know that they're going to know it's you because it's your perspective. They already rolled up on you. You ready to do that to put yourself and your family in jeopardy?
Well, first thing I would do is investigate how to set up a VPN.
No, but it doesn't matter.
It don't
the
matter.
second you put the tape up, they know
they
it's
saw
you.
they saw that
he was
did
there,
it.
and those cops are the ones that was fucking with him.
If I'm Manny or if I'm me, because if I'm me, I like to think that
I'm asking you.
I like to think that I would because I don't have the history that Manny does.
What do you mean by that?
We assume. I think it's fair to assume that Manny's history is not exactly.
Best.
Yeah. I mean, his girl literally came up and said, "You're not selling drugs again, are you?"
but again, in the beginning of the movie, he checked no on his
he was never convicted.
on his application, right?
I never been convicted of a crime either.
Neither have I.
Honestly,
so he never got caught.
This isn't a
Because they do
decision.
background checks, right?
Yeah.
This isn't a decision that
maybe.
this isn't a decision that I would make by myself. I can't.
Right.
What if your wife?
I mean,
told
it's
you?
a cop out answer, but
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Guess what?
What if your wife said to do it?
If my wife was okay with it, I like to think that I would.
What if she said she wasn't okay with it?
I wouldn't.
What about you, Terrence?
Yep.
You ain't got nobody. You can't cop out.
I would.
You would?
I would,
No
absolutely.
matter what.
Yep. I'm like, I saw this. This
He's
is
a good
my
person.
Like, no, I'll be like, I saw it. This is my
Not a
tape.
coward.
And you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna set me up with what? I have a clean fucking record.
That's what I'm saying.
I got a clean record. You're gonna fabricate some shit and like, really, I did that shit, my nigga. I gave this nigga a gun. Really? Really?
But did he?
We don't know.
But yeah, I absolutely would. I'm like, nah, fuck you. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And I would like go to the paper first. I would go to like,
Yeah, that's my
I would
thing.
go to like
I
a
would-
whole
I
bunch
wouldn't-
of fucking like websites and papers and be like, yo, I got this video and I'm about to put it up. They gonna fuck with me, y'all. If anything happens, I ain't do it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Here's the tape.
They've been like, he downloaded torrents. Look at it. Look at his
I
download
did.
history.
That's the difference. That's a way different from shooting a nigga.
In the eyes of the New York police, is it? Because they're stopping people for loose cigarettes. Apparently, they can go from massive financial crime to, is this guy selling Newports one by one? We have the time.
Fucking bizarre, yo.
It's just fucking with people. Like, you don't got no real reason to be here. Yeah.
Like they would like if they start fucking with me, I'm like, look, these niggas are fucking with me because I let this tape. I released the tape, and y'all know they're fucking with me because I released the tape. So
I would be like, listen, New York Times, I know that you love breaking news and getting huge stories and possibly getting Pulitzer prizes and all of that stuff. I will give you this tape.
Yeah,
But I'm going to need you to give me enough money because I'm moving. I'm gone.
Yeah,
The
yo,
second
like-
that tape hit, nigga, my apartment is empty. Empty. Yeah, we be down there dealing with the sharks in Miami Beach. I'm out. I'm gone. I'm gone. Peace.
because I don't want nobody.
But yeah,
harassing
I would give
Right.
up the tape.
I don't want nobody harassing my family.
right, that's
But
the
that
thing.
there
So, I
lies.
mean, you can whatever. I can take that shit, but I don't want. I don't know, man.
I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't want someone fucking with my family. That would be number one. But I also wouldn't want the harassment from the cops is one thing. To destroy any semblance of a future is another thing, right? Because like Manny has his future essentially destroyed over this. We assume.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe he got out and everything was fine afterwards. I have no idea.
Yeah, posted bail
He just go about his
and
day.
went back to work.
Yeah, they were just like, it's cool, right? But he also sacrificed, not only does he sacrifice his own life and his own career, he also sacrifices his girlfriend's. Because someone sees that, you know, she's obviously an activist and trying to like stand up for him, they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to hire her. She's a troublemaker. You know what I mean? Like, so that fucks her life up too. And potentially her kid's life as well. So it's curious. I mean, you would have to really, like, you know, I am married, but like, we would have to really have a conversation. Like, I know my wife would never be like, don't do it. Because that's just not the type of person she is. But we would have to have contingency plan. Like, this is what we're going to do. We need to go to the New York Times or whatever and say, like, these people are going to harass us. I am not suicidal. I want a press conference, and now here is the tape. Like, that's how I would play it.
Yeah, I'd make that shit as public as fucking possible.
Yeah, I ain't just uploading that shit to YouTube trying to fight this shit on my own. No, nigga. Nope.
Yeah, like,
I'd be like, 1-800 Rachel Maddow. Like, I call my girl, I'm like, I got the tape, girl. Just bring me on. And just help me, help me. Right. Like, that's what I would do. Like,
and then
but I would have to have methods.
But then they assassinate your character, right? Because
what character?
Because
hey,
you
listen to this show. What character?
Because you bring up old clips. I hate white people. Like, and look at these fucking white cops. Case in point.
Like, fuck you. The Will Smith thing. That's right. It turns out has a problem with white police officers. Yeah, I know. I've got the proof finally. I would have to make methods in order to protect myself. Like, he was just like,
I'm not just uploading.
Yo, my man was just like, bow, just put this on YouTube. Like, nah, yo.
Don't do that.
Nope. Also, the way YouTube works, somebody had to fucking stole that shit and got all the clicks. You don't get paid for none of it. That's fucked up. Oh, sorry. That was just my own personal issues with YouTube. Just saying, guys, I don't pay enough. So yeah, I would definitely be. I would be leery, but I wouldn't not do it. Like, I just couldn't. So Manny goes to his new job. Everything is working out, and he's thinking about his kid and like, what's he gonna do? Is he actually going to upload this tape? He comes home. There's like police outside and unmarked cars. And they just speed away as he drives up, which, you know, starts this sort of silent harassment that they're doing.
I think I'd go to the police station and be like, y'all niggas are following me for nothing. Yeah.
No, I put a bullet in your head. No, he reached for my gun. He reached for all of my guns. Right
he walked into the precinct and just like started reaching for guns, and they all put a bullet in his ass. Like,
I mean, but I can't believe I'm going to quote this, but it's true. Like, who watches The Watchmen, right? Like, if the police are supposed to be the people who you go to when you're in trouble, what happens when those are the guys doing the dirt? Yeah. Who do you go to? That's why, look, I mean, not to make it political, that's why it's important to have good journalism in this country. So you can go to the people and be like, yo, this is not okay. Look what's happening.
Right.
But yeah, like, who do you truly go to because no one can protect you. Can't be protected against a force of people who legally are allowed to carry guns. They can say anything.
Use them.
Yeah, and use them.
Even when they're not supposed to. But, I mean, who knows? You know, whatever.
So when he's at home alone, Manny decides he's going to upload the video. And he does. And then he just goes to sleep. And then he wakes up the next day and the footage has gone viral. And it's cell phone footage of the shooting have been released. And so the best thing he can think to do is to take his daughter to the roof and hold her tight because he knows the rest of his life is about to get fucked up.
Right.
It's a beautiful scene, actually. It reminds me of a couple of times I've been to like the Met rooftop in New York. It's just really a beautiful city when you get away from all the people. So yeah, it's quite lovely. So he does that, and then he just is kind of preparing himself for what's coming next. While walking home in the neighborhood after work, those previous cops who harassed him roll up and they arrest him for no reason whatsoever. Then when he's actually in the precinct, they try to pull out this bullshit of like, hey, that kid who stole that bike said that you gave him a gun. And we literally have no idea whether that's true or not.
Quick question. When you get arrested, are they supposed to tell you why you're being arrested?
I don't know. I've never been arrested.
Terrence?
I ain't never been arrested.
As a resident criminal here?
They're supposed to tell you. Yeah, aren't they?
I
feel
don't
like
know.
They are like they.
See, we about to get mad YouTube comments. Y'all don't even from the street. Y'all don't even know what it's like to be arrested. You're right.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct.
I'm a bitch ass nigga.
I've been pulled over countless times. They've never arrested me.
Nah, I don't need that on my record of life experiences at all.
Yeah.
I start crying and shit. Like, nah, yo. Like, please don't arrest me. Yeah, but they basically don't tell him until he gets to the precinct that this is why you're being arrested. Which I have a feeling, obviously we're not told this, but I have a feeling that this is utter bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. We found a hair on the body. Like, oh, did you?
Yeah. Whose hair? It looks like yours. No, it isn't.
Stop making up shit.
Nigga, I'm not blonde, nigga. What the fuck?
Like, yo, I got a baldy. Knock it off. So then we see a scene. This is like a handoff scene of Manny is in this interrogation room with a one-way mirror, and he goes and he's like kind of looking at the one-way mirror. And then on the other side, John David Washington's character Dennis and a bunch of other cops are looking into the room, and then the other cops leave, and then Dennis is there, and they're kind of looking at each other but not looking at each other, right? Mm-hmm. But I thought it was a kind of a clever scene, and that's the handoff to Dennis's story. Which, I mean, this is literally the last time
you ever see
me.
I'm like,
I thought when I first watched it, I was like, all right, when are we going to go back to what's his name?
Right, like I thought it was going to intertwine the three stories.
Yeah.
Nah. He was Act 1, Dennis is Act 2,
yeah.
Zarek is Act 3. Hard stop. So, I wrote this down because I thought it was... It's a super interesting thing that's happening with these wrongful police shootings. They show Dennis and a number of cops, they go on duty. And with Dennis and 3 other fellow cops, they go and they play a 4-on-4 pickup basketball game with some kids in the neighborhood, right? I like and hate this scene so fucking much because... I'll start with the like part.
I hate it.
No. I hate it for the same reasons you hate it, right? But I'm going to tell you why I do like it, though. I like it from the perspective of this is what the ideal should be. This is what life should look like, and it shouldn't be because they are trying to ingratiate themselves into the neighborhood because of what they did. Right? Because back in the day, when beat cops lived in the neighborhood and they didn't just protect property and drive in from fucking Baltimore County, let's say, and then go shoot niggas in the city and then head back out to their nice plush houses in the county. Before, when beat cops used to live in the neighborhoods, people used to know the cops.
Yeah, they would walk a beat.
They would walk a beat. I mean, if y'all fat niggas walk a beat, like, you won't be so big. But, like, they used to walk the beat. And so they actually had real connections to those kids in the neighborhoods. And they were actually, like, you could play basketball with, I don't know, Officer O'Flanagan, like, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, back in the day, they were, like, all Irish. But you could know them. And that should be the ideal. That you could play pickup basketball. Well, that cop, he's all right. Like you should have a good relationship with the cops, not a bad one, right? It should be an officer-friendly fucking bullshit. But it's not, right? And this is the reason why you hate it, and I'm sure you hate it, and this is the reason why I hate it, is because they're only doing this because they fucking shot a guy, and they're trying to be like, we cool, right? No, nigga, we're not cool.
Like, nah, fuck off.
Yeah, you'd be like, check the ball. I throw it right in your face and walk the fuck off. Fuck you, dude. Go do your job. Suck my dick. Right. But you can't say that because then they shoot you in your kneecap and be like, he reached for my gun. Like, all right, come on. God damn. Yeah, you beat them in basketball, they arrest you and shit. Like, all right, yo, come on, yo. I dumped on you. Right. I get it. Right?
Now you got to let these motherfuckers win.
You have to. Yo, if you don't let me win,
that nigga hard. Wow. With a shoulder check. Like, you playing, like, yo, this is how we play the street, nigga.
Yeah,
like,
this is jail rules, nigga. You got a vest on, you gonna be all right.
You good. Fuck out of here.
But yeah, like, get a little strong, stiff arm. Like, it's no big deal. But I just, that's the thing about it is it should be the ideal, but not for the reasons that they're doing it, right? Like, I will give credit to the cops who are trying to do the right thing. Because, not all cops are the same, right? Like anything else. And I think there are beat cops that do shit like this. But when it comes off the heels of you killing someone for no fucking reason, it rings completely hollow, and it is bullshit. It's actually offensive, is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry we killed your friend, nigger. I know you niggas like basketball. Y'all want to play? No, fuck you, dude. Like, fuck you. Go do whatever it is you do. I don't come to a Dunkin' Donuts and knock the donut out of your fucking mouth. So just go do what you do. Fuck out of here. Right?
But I don't think, like, this scene, I don't think they were doing it because they shot them. I think this scene was supposed to show, hey, cops aren't all that bad.
Yeah, that's
really.
So they're playing,
I didn't.
We're playing basketball with the
I didn't buy that
kids.
at all.
I'm like, nah, nigga, fuck you.
That's
No,
100%. That's 100% how I saw it.
Right.
That these particular cops
are fine,
good ones, quote unquote,
Nah.
are fine, and that this is not, the plainclothes cop, the white men are the ones that.
Goddamn.
yeah.
No, wait. Yeah, the four of them it's a white woman.
Right.
Oh, it's one white. It's one white guy.
Dude is
like a Latin dude.
Yeah, one of them guys looks like an escuela or some shit. You know what I mean? Like he don't look like an O'Flannery. He don't look like a Goomba Roomba or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, nah, yo.
Yeah, it's literally a white woman, a black dude, a Latin dude, and one white guy for just.
And they were the ones that were sitting in front of the projects in the building.
Yeah.
So they're always there. So that's why I'm like, yeah, these are the ones that like they're in the neighborhood and they're the cool ones. I'm like, nah, fuck off.
Nah, yeah. Nah.
Like, but your homeboy just shot a nigga for no reason.
And you protect him.
Right. And they even have the conversation in the car.
Which is good, by the way.
She was like, yo, they're gonna fuck with you if you say something to IA. Like, well, I mean,
internal affairs.
Yeah. He's like, I saw the tape though. He did that shit for no reason.
I did. Look, shout out to those kids. They did smear dog shit on his door handle, which I appreciated. I was like, good. Fuck those cops.
Yeah.
He was all mad. Good, nigga. Fuck out of here. Oh, you sad about it? It's like my dick. That dude's dead. I'm sorry you had to wash your hands, you fucking scumbag. Then there's a scene of Dennis. I really don't like cops, dude. There's a scene of Dennis with his wife, which is the most Denzel Washington fucking moment in the fucking movie, where she's like, she says something to me. He's like, oh, I know you all right. He was like, basically like, I just finished blasting a hole into forever. Like, that scene was hilarious to me. He's like, oh, I know you're all right. And she was like, well, didn't take long. He was like, yeah, I was tired, Yeah,
my back hurt.
My back hurt. He's like, that right thrust.
I had to dunk on this little young buck earlier today, and I kind of threw my back, because I had to wear all my vests and my gear and shit. I had to make sure.
Playing basketball in like a fucking a bulletproof
vest and guns and shit all on your waist.
I know they were hot as fuck, sweating. Yo, if you get your knees clapped together, if you get your ankles broke by a cop in full gear, yo, retire, my nigga. Like, retire. This nigga's got a 30-pound rucksack on his back, still dunking on you. Nah, yo, I won't allow it. And I'm not a good basketball player. I fucking tripped him. Like, nah, yo, fuck all this. My pride will not allow this. No. So yeah, Dennis and his partner, noticeably a white woman. She's like, look, don't worry about it. We all know Scala, the cop, is a piece of shit. Like, we know that, but you gotta just let that shit ride, because they'll fuck your life up.
You gotta look out for you. That's the theme of this movie. Look out for you.
Look out for number one. But it's ironic because looking out for number one in all of their situations ends up fucking everybody else. Like, we live, to quote the great George Costanza, we're living in a society. Like, you should be trying to filter out shitty cops. That's what you should be doing, right? As a quote unquote good cop. You should, to help everyone out, you should be able to release that tape, right? And later on with Zyrek, you should be able to protest and still be this athlete. Like, you should be able to do those things. But looking out for yourself doesn't help anybody, ultimately. It helps no one. Not in a lot of ways, not even you. It doesn't even help you. So Dennis and his partner are called to this impromptu protest that's happening for Darius Larson. And he has a bunch of black people screaming in his face saying that I am Darius Larson. I found that scene to be compelling from the perspective of that was me once. I yelled in a cop's face during a protest. Yeah. It was, trying to remember, there's so many black people who get murdered by cops. There was a protest in Baltimore, and these cops were there, and, you know, they were kind of pinning us in or whatever. And I yelled at the guy, was like, how the fuck are you a black man and a cop? Right to his face. Which was cool, because there was a lot of people there, so I knew I wasn't going to get nightsticked. So I got to start talking mad shit. Like, what's this guy going to do to me? Yeah, but like, not on a one-on-one. I'm not really.
You're like,
no, say that shit over here. No, I'm good.
I'm going to stay over here with all the people.
Yeah, I got to safety all these hippies. Like, they going to be all right. Yeah, no, but that was me. Like, I was so... I remember being that angry. Just like, you're a black man, yo. How the fuck are you standing for this shit? Oh, it's really hard out there. I was like, I don't give a fuck. That's a job you chose.
Yeah, that's always my answer. Like, you decided to become a cop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Dennis says that later on. He was like, you know,
he said this job is not a choice.
I was like, nigga, what?
That was like, of the many stupid things you do in this half an hour, that's the stupidest thing I've heard.
Yeah, that was really fucking dumb.
It's not a choice.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. There have been plenty of former
not to do that.
Yeah, there have been plenty of former cops.
Yeah,
like no,
it was a very strange line.
I guess he was saying it's a calling. No, I don't have a calling to be a police officer. Never have. Well, in fairness, I definitely have a calling to not be one. So.
Yeah, nah, fuck that. I don't. Just a quick aside. It is a common misapprehension that police officers are required to tell you why you're being arrested or what offense you've committed when you're being arrested. So they don't have to. So they can just black bag your ass.
What
the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because that often is in those videos of people being wrongfully or, being arrested, whether they think they should be or not. People often say, like, why am I being arrested? And, like, the cop doesn't say. And people get really mad. Well, apparently they don't have to tell you.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
God damn.
Yeah, that's a little too authoritarian for me.
That's a little too Gestapo-ish.
Yeah.
Man.
Hey, just put this black bag on your head. Where are we going? Nowhere. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if you never came back? What? I've had a cop say that to me, too.
God damn.
Yeah.
What the fuck are y'all doing?
I literally wasn't doing anything.
Not what are y'all doing? Where the fuck are y'all at?
The inner harbor.
I mean, I was
the inner harbor.
around the corner from your old fucking apartment.
Well, some Jew called the cops on you because they're like, well,
I don't trust this nigger.
He doesn't have measles. What is he doing here?
Yeah, well, you got the cops called on you by like a Hasidic Jewish person.
Yeah,
there's a lot of issues in that community.
Not fun.
Yeah, to the shock of zero people. So on his way home, right before he walks in the house, Dennis pulls up the tape again. He watches it on his phone. And then the irony is not lost on me that he walks in, sees his young black son, and feels some kind of way about it. He then takes his service weapon off and goes and gets in bed with his wife. The next day, he's sitting there with his son, and his son's being just a goofy kid or whatever, and they have Parent Appreciation Day, and his son is wearing a New York Police Department shirt.
Yeah,
and Dennis was like, "Nah, don't wear that," which is telling that you also know,
right? Yeah, like Jesus, dude, like you don't want your kid to wear the shirt of the NYPD because he's going to get bullied or whatever
because of what's happening,
because of your occupation.
Then maybe you shouldn't have that occupation.
Or maybe you know what the fuck the problem is, but you're still part of it because you don't do anything about it. But you really can't.
I mean, here's the thing.
Because he's only one person.
Can you fix...
And he'll be ostracized.
So, I mean, but let's have a real conversation here, because I think often one of the things that drives me crazy is when people have criticisms of something, but they have no idea how to fix anything, right? Like they don't have suggestions on how to fix it. How do you fix this cop problem?
Get rid of them.
Just a free for all? I mean, I don't know if that's a good look. I own shit.
Yeah, you can't get rid of essential services.
Nah, I don't trust y'all. Y'all come out. I live in a nice neighborhood. Y'all need to stay down there.
Like when the cops stopped fucking with people in New York, the crime went down a little bit.
You gotta, but they're still there.
I mean, but they was like, fuck y'all niggas. They was like not going to calls and shit.
I think what you have to do is the barrier for entry has to be raised.
I think that's
you need to have at least 2 years in college.
Yeah, because right now it's a high school diploma.
Yeah, you need 2 years in college.
The people we went to high school with?
Right.
They tripped and fell out of that school. Like, get out of here.
You need 2 years of college. You need some sort of degree in, psychology or criminal justice or something like that. You need to raise the education standard first and foremost. You can't just have some dumb nigga with a GED and ain't got nothing else going on to give them a weapon. Like, you can't.
Right. And I think they should be psychologically profiled because there's a big part of being a small man or a small woman. And I don't mean physically, I mean mentally, and then being given a gun and power. Like, you can't just give people absolute power, dude. That's crazy.
Right. Like that is the solution is to raise the standards.
Yeah. Problem is,
so what do you do with the rest? What do you do?
Oh no, you
gotta. I mean, look.
No cops for a year.
House.
You can't do a unilateral like wipe everybody's off the board, right? You can't do that. Like, it's gonna take time.
Find and replace bad cop, with good cop.
It's gonna take time, like everything else. Like, there is no short-term solution to this problem.
Right, I agree.
But
I mean, I think the standards have been falling for decades.
No white cops. If you white, you can't be a cop.
But what about Officer O'Flanagan?
That occupation is fucking dead to you.
I don't know if you can.
It's dead to you.
I don't know if you can do this, but you can't be a cop and not live in the neighborhood.
Bingo.
You can't.
Bingo. That to me is a big solution.
You need to be within a certain radius of where you walk, of where you report.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you're protecting property.
Yeah.
That's what cops are there to do now. They are protecting property. I'm going down here to make sure y'all niggas don't tear shit up. But guess what? You don't give a fuck about that neighborhood. You don't give a fuck about those kids in that neighborhood. You don't give a fuck about the moms and pops that live in that neighborhood. But if you live there, you would.
Right.
Like, I'm not a authoritarian sort of police minded person. It's just not who I am. But I would give a fuck a lot more if I were a cop and I worked my neighborhood as my beat. I live here, Like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna just start popping off shots and then just go home. Because guess what? I live here. You can be like, oh damn, you just shot Darius. Yo, nigga, that nigga lives next door to you. You can't just do that. I know Darius. I go to that corner store. I buy Lucy's from him from time to time, right? But if you live there, then it does change the neighborhood. It does in fact make you more invested in seeing the neighborhood become better over time. And I think kids don't fucking while out if Officer Friendly lives 2 doors down from them. Yeah. You're not just tearing up the neighborhood like, yo, don't do that. Yo, that's Officer so-and-so's house right there. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
That dude's a cop.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. And he got guns.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the fear of God will help you. I don't know. But I think you're right. I think having cops live in neighborhoods is better. Like in Baltimore, it's something crazy. I don't remember the exact statistic, but I think it's over 70% of Baltimore City police don't live in the city.
That is ridiculous.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Like, you don't give a fuck about the city. Oh, was the city burned down? Nigga, I don't live here. And they don't even live in Baltimore County. They live in Howard County. It's like,
come on.
I'm in Columbia. Where the Howard County police live? In Howard County?
Montgomery County.
Right. Everybody trying to get 5 steps out. I don't want to run into these criminals at Walmart. But yeah, I think that's...
I police there. I don't want to work there. Are you crazy? You know how much crime I had to deal with yesterday? We moving.
I mean, Baltimore City.
Baltimore is about to have a 1.0 KDR. Are you fucking serious?
I don't know. What is the KDR?
Kill day ratio.
1%?
1.0. Meaning, if Baltimore ever reaches 365 murders
it
in a
averages
year,
a day, a kill a day. Or
right, that's a kill a day.
It comes really fucking close every year.
Like when you play
30 every year.
when you play video games, like when you play
I mean I know that. I'm just saying the idea of the rate is insane. That's
right,
nuts.
like it's fucking wild, yo. It's wild.
Baltimore City.
Right.
The fucking city, yo. Baltimore City's small as shit.
It's a big town, yo. It's a big town.
It's only 600,000 people. Or something like that. 600,000 or 700,000. It's not like New York. New York City has 8 million people. Their kill ratio should be like 9 a day. In the summertime, bow, you gotta go. Like, fuck out of here. Traffic is too slow. Somebody gotta die. But even then, but I think the idea is because they live there. Yeah. I think that's a big part of it. Yeah. The ratio of Baltimore City police officers, and I'll try to look up the exact numbers, but I was pretty sure it was like 60 or 70%.
That's wild, man. That's ridiculous. Come on, yo. Come on. They should make you have to you have to relocate. Well, and if you don't relocate, you can't get this job. Other jobs do that. You can't perform certain jobs if you are remote. You have to relocate to the position.
Yeah. Yeah, no argument for me.
I don't understand why that's not.
Last
mandatory.
year, 309.
309, yo.
This year so far, 126. 126. Yeah.
All right, yo.
In 2017, 342. 2015, 342.
Nigga, 342?
Yeah.
Nigga, yo.
It's weird.
We're so close.
Yo, that's 23 more kills, yo. 23 more kills, and then we can just drop a nuke on Baltimore.
So fucking real. Got that fucking kill streak going.
Right.
Take the whole
God
fucking
damn.
Thing. Win the match. Golly, man. That's so sad. Ugh.
I'm glad y'all live here.
Oh, are you? Are you?
I'm getting the fuck out.
Past 3 months, 80. Yeah.
Yeah, yo, 300. Baltimore is I love Baltimore, yo, but it's a shit show here. Like you got a guy who's mayor who doesn't want to be mayor. They don't know, they're getting cyber attacked, 345 kills in a year. Like this is fucking ridiculous, man.
No, this is fucking Detroit right before RoboCop comes. It's crazy. So in 2010 in Baltimore, only 25% of the police officers lived in the city.
Yo, you got to relocate. Sorry, you got to relocate. And look, even if it's like you technically live in the city,
I live in the city.
You on the fringes, but you live in the city. Even then, it's still something.
Yeah. Like, it feels like the county, but, like, I got all the benefits of the county, like not getting shot, diversity, not getting shot. Yeah,
I'm looking at this map. It's
getting shot. Like,
we got
no rats.
Like, I'm looking in the last 6 months, 148 homicides. And they go by race. 2 reported for white folks. Asian, none.
Yeah, of course. I know
Hispanic, 5. Unknown, 38. So they don't know what the race is. Black, 103. In 6 months.
That's sad.
In the city. Like, Jesus Christ, yo. That's
not in the whole state, just in the city.
God damn, yo.
All right, let's move forward a little bit. There's a dinner party between Dennis, his wife, and their 2 friends, another couple. Yeah. And when Dennis's wife is getting ready to be a doctor, and so they're celebrating. She walks out of the room to get some flan, and while she's gone, the woman in the other couple is like, "So, what's happening with that Darius Larson shooting?"
As soon as I saw her, I said, "Oh, she's gonna be a trouble." Look at that afro.
Yeah,
that is the most righteous afro I've ever seen.
Yeah, she was like, look, I've been reading a lot of books this week. Let me ask this cop what he thinks. I'm about to blow this whole fucking dinner party all the way up. Like, yo, come on, yo. Can't we just have fun and just relax? So she's like, yeah, so what's going on with that? And he was like, yeah, what you mean?
Her husband was like
I said in the car not to talk about, they had that conversation when they got there.
Right.
Yo, don't ask that nigga about that case. Don't ask him. That nigga look like he about to flip out.
And she waited till his wife left.
Yeah, she was slick, yo. She was slick. And, her husband at one point was just like, you just not get the fuck off.
he was like, baby, please go. Please.
Like, come on.
Baby, please. Like,
yo, he literally slid over and was like, yo, knock it off. Let me knock it off.
Oh man.
She came back in.
Like,
You like that actor portraying me?
Yo, at one point, she's like doing this, and he was just like, yeah, that's 100% you. Like, just please don't do that. That shit is hilarious. To portray me. Yeah, so it's funny because Dennis is like, he's trying to be really reserved. He's like, look, it's one case in hundreds. This is, yes, this Officer Scholar went too far, yada, yada, yada. And then you can just see the cop mode turn the fuck on. And he's like, is it unfortunate? Yes, it's unfortunate. She's like,
unfortunate is not the right word.
I mean, yeah. Like when I trip and fall down the stairs, that's unfortunate. Like, I didn't die.
Yeah.
Well,
that's some misfortune that guy was murdered. What?
Yeah.
like, oh, that's nah, bro.
So he was like, look, this wouldn't happen if he wasn't resisting arrest. And of course, look, I don't appreciate rhetorically what she does because I think it's fucked up and unfair. But narratively, it's great. She was like, oh, so if I was resisting arrest, you gonna shoot me?
Yeah, that's
come on, yo.
That's a poor argument, but goddamn,
it works. But it works. Like, it is fucked up because you're like, yo, that's not really what I was saying. I don't think you should just murder any black person who resists arrest. Like, relax. Also, I don't agree with what he did. But yeah, she just painted that nigga into a corner, and like, bitch ass Mike is just like, baby.
Can you, Erica? Can you please just? Can you please just I'm just trying to eat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to eat.
Can we talk about this later? God damn.
She's like, lawyer, nigga. Right. So she's like, yeah. So what do you think? What do you think the problem is? He's like, one cop fucks up, and like we're all bad. And then she, of course, starts just dropping bars. She's like, he's just this month's victim. Micah puts his arm on the back of her chair, like, relax. He's trying to hold her from jumping across the table, choking John David Washington the fuck out in this scene. And then I think this is where John David Washington really fucking, like, he takes this role that I think is not that great, and he kind of elevates it. And he was like, yo, you think if you saw some 3-minute shaky cam tape that you would know what to do? Like, yeah, what would you do? After several warnings, some big dude coming up on you, and he starts to push the narrative like he literally is using his voice in the same way that in a weird way of how he's describing the physical event. Like, just somebody keeps being aggressive to you till he pushes her to the point where she kind of fucking breaks and just like, fuck you kind of thing.
Yeah, she was like, she didn't answer it. She was like, oh, I just thought you were part of the solution. Like, oh, fuck you, yo. Like, just like, I understand what you're saying, but fuck you, man.
Like, you can't do that to that guy.
Fuck you, man.
Can't you?
Look, again, narratively, I enjoyed it. Yeah. But at the same time, yo, that's kind of fucked up. I thought you were part of the problem. Bitch, I'm not Malcolm X. What you want me to do? Start shooting white cops? Wait a minute. What are you saying?
I thought you were part of the solution. Like, ooh.
Like, but what's the solution though? Like, are black men or black cops, are they the solution? I would argue they're not.
No, they're not, because
really aren't.
You give anybody that kind of power, it will fuck them up.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, man. Like,
you can't just let a white woman with blonde hair have a dragon. What the fuck you think? You see what happens? You know who that's for.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's what
gonna call you,
that's what
like,
people want. That's what people want, though. That's what people want.
Right.
Until they get it. And then they mad when they get it.
Yeah, you can't, like, yo, like, as much shit as we're talking, yo, I don't want to be a cop, yo.
Nah, man.
Yo, you give me a fucking holster with a gun and authority? Like, take that goddamn hat off in this house. It's like,
Nigga, what are you doing?
Like, you reached for my gun. Sorry. It's like when Homer Simpson got a gun on The Simpsons, right? You were shooting everything. Oh, I gotta turn the TV. Wow. Just,
Gotta open this can. Bow. Like, all right, yo.
Like, when you have a hammer, every problem is a nail. Like, that is the issue. So absolute power corrupts absolutely, which is why probably in Britain why everybody's a billy club.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, you could bring off on somebody, but you ain't gonna kill them 9 times out of 10. You know,
you gotta put in work to kill somebody with a billy club.
Right.
Yeah, you have to really want them to
psychopath.
be dead. Yeah, it's like Maniac Cop. Like, you really want someone dead. But there's such a disconnect, I think, with a gun. Right? Like, you just, boom. Like, end of story.
Right.
You know, somebody coming towards you, and you know, you're done. Which is why I respect Latino folks in movies, because they use knives. They like to get up close. Wow. Stereotypes. It's true. But yeah, so John David Washington, I think he does a really good job in this scene. He's a piece of shit, but he does a really good job in this scene. And yeah, like, then he has a conversation with his wife, who was like, she never wanted to marry a cop, because she didn't want to worry and all this other stuff. Would you marry a cop?
No.
Damn, you want to think about it?
No, I don't want to think about it. No.
No, I couldn't either.
Nah.
What if, like, an FBI agent or a CIA agent? Something like that? Would that be
like a special agent?
Yeah.
What are they investigating? Like, are they like Mulder and Scully?
Yeah, they're like Mulder and Scully.
Or are they like Johnson and Johnson?
Nah, come on, yo, no. They can't go to Nakatomi Plaza. That's
Right.
crazy.
Like,
I mean, that's kind of a cool job, I guess. Those guys are idiots. But yeah, like, I don't think I could date or marry a cop.
Nope.
Actually, I know I couldn't, because I don't respect what you do. Not respect.
I mean, no.
I respect it. I can't
do as
listen.
far as what you're supposed to do.
First and foremost, I would worry about their safety, right? Like, because if I'm marrying them, I should know that they're a good person, right? So I would, hopefully. So I would, you know, their safety. But then inevitably we would get to a dinner party scene. We would get to that scene in the dinner party. And it's just like...
And then you over there trying to cut flan, and you don't know what to do.
Right.
While she's screaming at your friends.
That's why my wife couldn't be a trial lawyer. She worked at a firm for a while, and then she was like, I'm too good of a person to this. Like, I can't do it.
No, that takes a level of scumbaggery to be a fucking trial lawyer, dude.
Yeah, man.
I mean... You know what?
Yeah, I know you're saying.
Okay, then. Thank you. Just saying. There's a level of, like, moral ambiguity that I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah, so... nah, yo.
Yeah, but like, oh, but you know what the truth is. Yeah, but I mean, it's not about the truth, is it? It's about what you can prove.
It's about what you can prove.
Like,
Yep.
no, that's not how
prove.
life works. Stop saying things like that. It's gross. But yeah, it's also like it's not about seeking the truth. It's about winning more than anything, which is fucking.
Are you talking about like a prosecutor or prosecutor, defense attorney?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Either
right?
way, yeah.
You'd like to think that you're on the right side of the law, but like I know, not the person that I was referencing, but I know a guy who's a defense. He's a defense attorney, so he defends the bad guys.
Right.
He knows that they're bad. He makes a lot of money doing that. He has his own firm. He makes a ton of money. He actually fought against the government on a case recently, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Like, you're sitting across from like a rapist. Or not sitting there. You're sitting next to them.
Right.
Yeah, you're defending
his
them.
actions.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Trying to find loopholes and shit.
Right, I mean, she was wearing a short skirt. Like, nigga, how do you go home at night? Throw my head in a fucking box of battery acid. Like, I couldn't do that shit. It sounds horrible. Yeah. And my morals are shaky at best. No, I just couldn't imagine doing that. So, yeah, I couldn't marry a cop for this very reason.
Yeah.
Like, safety is one thing, but the morality of it would fuck me up. Be like,
Would be worse, a cop or a lawyer?
Talking about like a defense attorney?
Yeah, like the people that we were just shitting on.
A defense attorney, 100%.
Yeah. I mean,
because you make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You could be a millionaire. This person probably is, that I know.
Yeah.
Defending the worst type of people. Like, at least as a cop, probably the vast majority of your job is helping people. You might fuck up and do some things, or might see some things and defend some things that are a little morally shaky. Mm-hmm. But if you're a defense attorney, your job is to defend the guy who's absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. I mean, I killed him, but like, I ain't kill him. Like, nah, yo, what the fuck kind of laws are these? Like, no, defense attorney, 100%. If your wife became a defense attorney, I would immediately ask for a loan.
She would.
Yeah, She rich now.
She wouldn't.
She would never do that.
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't do it. She don't have it in her. Thank God.
Yeah, like, yo, we getting paid, but like, what are we doing?
Right.
That's fucking. You'd be Charlize Theron in Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
You find yourself in a church trying to kill yourself. The devil trying to fuck you, like, it's wild, dude. Like, come on now. Al Pacino trying to fuck you the whole time. Seems like a strange situation. One fig leaf. So then Dennis is driving home. He thinks his wife is calling him, but turns out it is the cops. They're like, yo, two officers got ambushed and gunned down.
And this happened too. They just pulled this right from the front headlines also. I was like,
yep. And so,
all right, cool.
It's
whatever.
So I'm sorry that happened. And that's unfortunate.
I mean, look, I don't want to see anybody die. I don't. I don't want to see
not any of these people, but I won't say that.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Okay.
But well, no, I wasn't talking to you. You don't know what I mean at all.
I mean,
there's a whole swath of people who look a certain way where I could see you seeing them dying and being okay with it.
that is correct.
Yeah, you didn't even get like, well, maybe you were like, that is correct.
Sorry.
I mean, I don't want to see anybody die, but
a nuisance.
But at the same time, the parade.
This is what pisses me off.
Yeah,
the parade in this movie. I don't know if it's
they could all collectively suck my black dick.
I don't know if it's
fuck every one of them in this.
I don't know if this is what this is like in real life because they
do big fucking parades for cops.
But man, this
protect and serve.
Like, we just had a guy pass away at my job, and all he got was an email saying, "Hey, this is where the wake is going to be." You know what I mean? Like,
well, I guess what bothers me is this huge show of force and gratitude and mourning and all this other stuff juxtaposed to that tiny ass funeral that Darius got.
Yeah.
And that's the
point.
Who served the country, right? And then and the idea, what I wrote down in my notes was just 2 scenes prior is Dennis saying, well, this is unfortunate, and it's a case 1 in hundreds. Darius is a case 1 in hundreds. These 2 cops are 2 in thousands. What the fuck?
Right.
But they roll out the red carpet, but nobody gives a fuck. You can't understand the anger. Like, as cops, you somehow can't understand the anger of the neighborhood in their retaliation and shit like that against police officers, or just anger in general. I don't think necessarily violence against police officers is okay. I really don't. But you can't understand the anger that those young kids have for you and all these people have for the police because of this wrongful shooting, but somehow you can close ranks and totally understand the perspective that your family is suffering. And these are not even your family, yo. These are just niggas you work with.
These are your coworkers.
Yeah. If 2 of my coworkers got shot right now, they're like, damn, that's fucked up. Who's going to get their new monitor? Just asking.
So yeah, I just
So yeah, these people can suck my dick.
this seems excessive, and you know, I respect the position, but
It's a job.
all this, yeah, it's a job, man. It's a job. It's a really tough job, but it's a job, yo. Like
It is.
I don't see this. They shut down the city for this in this film,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they do that in real life, but you probably shouldn't.
Maybe in small cities they do.
Maybe it doesn't seem like a good, good use of your resources.
I remember, and I only remember his first name, and I don't know why, but I remember when I was a kid, there was a cop who was killed, and it was a big fucking deal. It was like, his name was like Ira something, which is I
Glass.
it was not Ira Glass.
Oh.
But I remember that being a really big deal. Like there were like tons of stories about it, and there was like a big thing about, his funeral and like this, like kind of like this. And I like, that is okay. I understand that. And I get it. But how many of the 330 people killed in Baltimore City, most of them being black, did anybody give a fuck?
Yeah, this guy.
Zero.
This guy. As much as we lionize the military, like we don't give a fuck about them when they're in in a coffin. You know what I mean? Like people treat it as a photo op. You know what I mean? And they don't give that kind of reverence to that was displayed in this film for these cops that died. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Ira Neil Weiner, Baltimore City Police Department cop who was killed. Yep. I remember that. September 21st, 1992. Yeah.
Two.
That was 12. Jesus Christ. Wow, he was 28?
That sucks, man.
Yeah, that's horrible. But yeah, it's just wow. That is all right. I can't read any more of that. That was fucking horrible. But yeah, I understand the mourning of your fallen brothers. I totally understand that. But the reason why I say you can collectively suck my dick is because nobody gives a fuck when it's a fucking little kid. How much were the cops really mourning Tamir Rice's fucking murder? Murder. Not death. Murder.
Right.
He was killed. He was a kid. He was a little kid. Where's the fuck? To me, if I'm a cop and I want to ingratiate myself to the neighborhood, when that fucking kid was killed, this is what you should have gotten.
Yeah.
The cop should have come out and be like, this is a fucking travesty. They should have thrown that cop who killed Tamir Rice under the goddamn bus.
Right.
Sorry, nigga. Goodbye. We got to do something for this community. This is horrible. And what did they do? Oh, he had a BB gun and it was his fault. You waited 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds, to hop out of the car and shoot a little kid in the fucking chest.
Right.
And what'd you get? Black people going, hey, this is really fucked up. We march about it, but we're the fucking problem. Fuck you. That's why I hate to be like a tit for tat kind of thing, but fuck this. Who cares? I don't give a shit about your funeral. I don't. Because you didn't give a fuck when an innocent kid was killed. You don't care. Oh, well, maybe he shouldn't have been resisting arrest. It's the immediate response. Not, wow, how can we do better? This is fucked up.
Right. Right. That's some trash ass fuckboy shit. Like, no, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault that I'm terrible.
Yeah. In the words of Seinfeld characters, you can stuff your sorries in a sack. Like it means nothing. It means nothing. They just shit just rings hollow.
I'm looking at cop deaths in Baltimore County and City, like all time.
It's not a lot.
There's 11 in Baltimore County since 1932.
11?
11 County. Baltimore City since 1808.
30.
It's like 100 something. But that's 200 years.
Yeah, that's 1808.
Yeah, starting from 1808. This is not funny, but it kind of is.
Yo. Yeah, you got a problem.
Night Watch George Werkner was stabbed in 1808. I don't know that's funny to me, goddammit. Leave me alone.
Was he watching The Wall?
Night Watchman John
Turn into
O'Mare.
a White Walker?
Was
yeah, it was mad a long time ago.
John O'Mare, the second person, 1856. So from 1808 to 1856, just one nigga died.
Wow.
The second one was gunfire inadvertent. I don't know what that means.
Fucking 4th of July.
Friendly fire.
We were shooting at him.
1857, gunfire. Most of these are gunfire.
Of course.
Right. But yeah, 140 out of the entirety of the Baltimore City Police Department.
That's crazy.
In 1808, 1908, 100 years. 2008, 200 years. 220 years.
Look, it's dangerous out there. Apparently, it ain't that dangerous. No, there's plenty of cops that have been hurt on the job, right? They've been shot and stabbed, stuff like that. Of course. Yeah. Look, I'm not running into a domestic abuse situation. Fuck that. Glad you're doing it, but no.
Officer Down Memorial.
Wow. Let's fast forward a little bit.
23,000 all time that have been
in the United States
of all time. Yeah.
23,000. Wow. From what year?
Since when?
Ever. All time.
Since 1776?
Wow.
God damn.
That's really not a lot. It's really not a lot.
So it's not an epidemic of people just murking cops. It's
not a
it
thing.
doesn't happen often, yeah.
That actually
Is
does.
that why they have this big ass parade? Because it doesn't happen often?
So far this year.
I mean, that's it sounds like you're joking. I don't think you are.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
But yeah, maybe.
Right.
Look how serious this is. But is it though? What is it? 23,000 in the entire history of the United States?
Line of duty deaths, 23,740.
More people have gotten their foot cut off from diabetes in the last 5
More
years.
soldiers have died in the last 10 years. Probably.
No,
well, no, not soldiers. People in war.
Oh, yeah.
In war.
Please.
Like the
tens of thousands.
World War I, 7 billion, 11 million, 7 million people died in the war. Some crazy fucking number like that.
Yeah. I mean, 4,000 people died. 4,000 soldiers died in the war in Iraq. 4,000.
Yeah.
In a war zone.
That was fucking 6%.
Like
cops of all time.
Of all time.
That's crazy. Well, last 10 years have been 1,600. So. It's
okay,
been escalating a little bit.
Yeah, all right. This is getting a little rough out there. Fair. You know what, cops? Fair enough. Shit, if you were a cop in the 1800s, you had it easy.
Yeah, you shot yourself by mistake.
You just swing around with your billy club and beat up a couple of minorities. You good, right? Just head on home. Head on down to old Flanagan's pub. Fast forwarding a little bit, Dennis meets with an internal affairs person, and this black woman has had enough. She hates her job and she hates his ass. He was like, he basically pretends he doesn't know Scala at all, even though he absolutely does, because he's mentioned what kind of a piece of shit he is to other cops, specifically his partner. He then, of course, does a cop thing and closes ranks. And he was like, oh, thank you, thank you for doing this. And she was like, thank you for your time. Which I was like, yeah, no, that felt good. Fuck you is what she wanted to say. And I get that. Because he didn't help. He didn't do the right thing. He's supposed to be part of the solution as a black cop. He was not. Then I'm going to fast forward. We see
his story. This is essentially the end of his story.
Yeah.
And just lets it rock.
You know what? The ending of his story kind of fits with his
behavior,
bump on a log personality. You know what I mean? I wasn't disappointed that his story ended like I was disappointed how the first story ended.
How Manny's did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So plus he was just doing stupid shit and saying stupid shit. I was ready to be done.
Just over this nigga.
Yeah, yo. I'm ready to be done with you, yo.
Is like, yes, it is.
It
really is.
Yeah, it is a choice, yo. Like
it's 100% a choice.
I understand you're conflicted and shit, but you can change that. You have the power to change it. Oh, I don't want my son to know that his friends to know that I'm a cop, but at the same time, right? Like you scared, nah, yo, I don't have sympathy for you. Like you the one that joined up in this gang, and I understand you're scared, but I just nah. Yeah. The movie could have been over and I'd have been fine.
Well, I'm gonna pull a Micah.
Speedball.
We about to
one is kind of like
yeah. There's a couple things I want to touch on, but yeah, we're gonna.
This shit made me mad too.
Micah's the dad in this, and I'm gonna call him out for it.
Yeah, that's right.
So we meet Zarek as Dennis does the handoff to Zarek's store. He sees Zarek being pulled over and harassed by these two cops. They're doing a stop and frisk thing. They're the same fucking gabagools from earlier.
Hey, what are you doing there? Huh? What are you doing? Why'd you reach for your pocket there, huh?
Yeah, what
You got a gun? Huh? You got a gun?
What do you got a gun? Like, hey, slow down.
bro. What the fuck? Like my phone.
Huh?
Is that it? That's all you got? Like,
Is that all you got? Huh? You don't got a rocket launcher in there or something? Huh?
You reaching for my gun? Is that what you're doing? Like, relax.
Are you reaching for my gun?
Like, whoa.
Calm down.
One, I don't even have arms. Why are you yelling at me? Yeah, that's gonna happen one time, right? You know that.
What?
Like, there's gonna be an amputee who's gonna get arrested, and they're gonna be like, he was reaching for my gun. He gonna stand in the court like, yo, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking?
Come on, yo!
And he'll still get convicted.
Oh God, that's sad. Because I can see it happening.
My mother went to church with a kid who got arrested because the cop said he robbed somebody and was running away. This nigga's in a wheelchair. This nigga is in a fucking wheelchair. And they were like, yo, that's the kid. Like, my legs don't work.
Come on, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, what's the judge? What do you do?
I get out of my court.
Get the fuck out of my face. What are you doing?
They thought he was lying. They thought he was
he
fucking
couldn't walk. They thought he really could, but he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
like,
they was like, nah, this nigga's lying. This
Well,
nigga is in a fucking wheelchair.
did they say, hey, stand up? I mean, I know that's crass, but
two big cops just gonna grab you under your arms and just be like, go ahead.
let you look, stand me up and watch my ass fall.
No, shit.
like fucking Michael Jackson in the Wiz. Like, what? That's not funny. But
I mean, but it is. It's fucked up, but it is funny. Yeah.
oh God.
But yeah, he had to prove, he had to get like doctors' notes and shit like
that's
that this
fucking
guy
insane,
cannot
dude.
walk. Yeah. No, I met him. Like, this dude was in a fucking wheelchair. I was like, I had the same reaction. Buddy's in a wheelchair. Like, who fakes that? Like, yo, his mom is faking it too? No, my son, wink, wink, is in a wheelchair. Yo, what the fuck are you talking about? It's crazy.
They just don't give a fuck.
They don't care, dude. No, it was him. Trust me, I saw him running. Did you? That would be amazing. So Zarek goes home. He goes in the bathroom immediately after getting home from being harassed by the cops, and he throws the weed that he had in his pocket that luckily they didn't find. So he's like, all right, I gotta fucking stop wilding. And yeah, he almost got his fucking whole life ruined. You find out that Zarek is a baseball prospect. His father is very proud of him, and but you know, his dad sees this like, all right, we gonna make it. We're gonna use, you know, the third perspective of black, which is the way you get out of this shit. It's either education, marry a rich white woman, or sports, right?
And how do you think you marry a rich white woman? Sports.
There you go. There you go. This guy knows what's up. So we see Zarek, who is training to be a baseball player. He seems mad young to be being recruited by the major leagues, but okay. And he's good. Like, he's obviously very good. And he starts to see like other people getting harassed by the police, and he realizes that, you know, he was friends with Darius and he saw him as a good dude, and now he wants to participate in activism to kind of fight back and protest and things like that, but he doesn't know how. So he goes to his friend who is an activist. I think her name is Lisa, and he wants her to help him get started in this whole thing. She's reluctant, but she eventually brings him in and has him making signs and shit like that for this protest that's coming. All the while, that's juxtaposed with him being recruited to a major baseball team and getting out of the hood. So how do you balance that, right? It's like the high flying bird thing. It's like the power of the black athlete. Like,
Right.
you eventually get this notoriety through your athleticism. Do you use that as a way to protest other systems against your people? Of course, we never get there because the movie just cuts the fuck off. But he is kind of dealing with where does he roll in between these two worlds. at one point, one of the recruiters, a white guy, comes to his house and he's like, "Oh, tell me about yourself. Are you willing to invest in yourself and all this other stuff?" And he's like, "Tell me about your friends. You like smoking weed, drinking? Can we trust your character?" And I wrote down, "Do you ask white players this?"
Yeah, I'm like,
No.
what?
No, they don't.
No, they don't. They might ask them about their grades. They don't say, "Hey, what kind of people you hanging out with? You knock any of these hoes up?" They don't ask them that shit.
I know you like hoes. Tom
In
Brady.
different area codes.
Well, then it doesn't count. Yeah, because he was like, "Do you have a girl here?" and all this other shit. And then he tells him he's also likely to get drafted first round. And I'm like, "Yo, this kid is about to make bank."
Right.
Baseball.
And it's baseball, nigga.
There ain't no cap
That's
either.
baseball money.
Right.
And you can play that shit until you're 45.
You ain't got to do nothing.
Right. Just stand there.
What's the league minimum for baseball? What is it? 20 million?
Is there a league minimum? They don't have
It
a
might not
salary
be.
cap.
Right. They don't have a salary cap, man.
That's just crazy. Like $145 million contract for what?
No, MLB salaries, the all near league minimum. Salaries range from $550,000 to $35 million for an 850 plus players on opening day.
Jesus.
So you could make $500,000 minimum. That's insane. Yeah, I would be like, I ain't going to this protest.
I mean, we'll get there.
can't risk it, dog.
We'll get there.
No, look,
Perk is 100% right in this fucking story.
that's what I said. That's what I said. You're the father in this scene. Absolutely.
Shit.
I'd be like, I'm going. I'd be like, here, let me holler at you. Put his ass in the headlight,
Right.
throw your ass in that room. Click. Nope.
You ain't doing a goddamn thing.
I'm putting a lock on the outside of your bedroom door. You lay your ass in there. We'll see you in the morning. Here's a protein shake. Get ready. That's fuck. We ain't going nowhere. Yeah. So we'll just fast forward to that. He's just basically trying to find himself. He's got white teammates that he overhears on this team that are like, "I would have shot that nigga 30 times." And I'm just like, white people believing cops are above reproach gets on my fucking nerves. It gets on my nerves.
They say something like, "Well, he must have been resisting because the cops wouldn't have shot him if he wasn't." Like,
do you live on planet Earth? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you see me, I am the least threatening of dudes. Like, I just am. I have been harassed by cops for just walking. That's it. Terrence, it makes sense. Look at him, he's a thug. Right? It makes sense. But me, no.
Yeah, I've been harassed one too many times by the cops for fucking nothing. Yeah, just walking.
Yeah.
Walking with my cousin.
Yeah,
so what
where
do
y'all
they
going?
do?
I was
Like,
on a fucking
I've
corner
been
from my
fortunate
house.
enough to never have had a
said,
run-in
what do they
outside of a traffic violation. So, like, how do they approach you? Like, what do they do, nigga?
That's exactly.
Look, you can shout your goddamn head all you want, nigga. I don't give a look. What do they do? Educate me then. As far as I'm concerned, you went to jail.
No, they just kind of pull up on you. Yep. You'd be like, fuck.
What do they ask you?
It was like, yeah. Well, when I got stopped by the cops when I was working with my cousin, they asked me if I lived around there. They said I fit a description. I was like, well, what's the description? It was like a black kid, like a black dude, like about 5'10", 6 something.
5'10" or 6 something. Yeah.
I was like,
what
nigga,
the fuck?
what the fuck kind of? I was like, yo, what are you serious?
Anywhere from 5'10" to 6'11", because that's 6 something.
By the way, 5'9".
like a tall.
I would have shrugged out. What?
Like, can I see your ID? I'm like, all right, yeah, fine. Yeah, I gave him the ID. It was like, yeah, someone like called about something going on. I'm like, nigga, I live right there. I was like, I live literally, that's my house. Because I was coming from the supermarket. But it was around the corner from where I lived.
Oh, where, like, your old place?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, yo.
On Marysville. I was
that's
like,
insane.
yo, what the fuck is going on?
That's literally 1 block.
Yes.
Yeah, you was guilty.
I was like, yo, this is insane. This is crazy.
Do they
Like,
know the demographics of Randallstown?
Right. Yeah, there's a black guy, 5'10" to 6 something. All of us? All of us? Every nigga in a 30-block radius?
Right. They stopped, they pulled over. It was weird. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, yo, that's insane.
What about you?
Just because I fit the description. And then, of course, the one where I got the 9 cops with their guns drawn when I had a flat tire. Because that was fun. Why, yeah?
Oh, you never.
What was I going to do?
You might have.
And I asked him, like, there's not a yo. Was that really necessary? Like, I literally, I was like,
whoa, calm down, Black Belt Jones.
Like, I'm not, look.
Just starts moving in slow motion. What are you doing?
Right. No, I'm good. I'm not going to be able to take any of you
down. No.
Like, because I'm going to catch a bullet. I'm good. Nah, you don't have to do all that. I saw that one cop, I was like, damn it. And then another one, I'm like, and then the fucking the van showed up. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on?
All right, look.
I'm sitting in the car like, I'm sorry. What the fuck did I do?
Okay, so you were in the were you in the parking lot?
I was in the
synagogue
parking lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I know why. And I'll tell you why. And it's not it probably has almost nothing to do with you. It's they literally have like a police vehicle there because they actually get like a significant amount of like death threats and shit. That's why.
What, synagogue?
Yeah, that's why. And you got the beard and shit.
No, I didn't have all this, but that was in 2013.
You're dark enough.
Yeah, no.
Looking a little Muslim-y. And when the moonlight hit your ass, like, nah, they were like, don't trust it.
This is unnecessary.
No, but it is super unnecessary. I'm not defending it.
But the guns, though, I'm like, yo, I'm sitting here waiting for a fucking tow truck. Can't go nowhere.
Like, your tires
I'm like, my tire's flat. Yo. I had to show him, like, and then the tow truck dude pulls up. He's like, everything all right over here? He's like, don't say nothing. I was like, what the fuck? He was a white dude. I'm like, I didn't, and there's nothing to say because I didn't do anything. It was funny as shit. He was like, yo, don't say nothing. I'm like,
yeah, there's no crime here. He's like, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
he just like. He had like tattoos and shit, so he probably been arrested before.
Yeah, he was like, yo, I'm a tow truck driver for a reason, nigga.
Right.
I work in corporate America for a reason. You know what I'm saying.
Put the car on the thing and we left, and I'm like, that's fucking so unnecessary.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was me and a couple buddies of mine. And we had parked. I was driving my mom's Beretta. Right?
Strike one.
What color was it? Was it red?
Black.
No, it was black. With a red stripe. Ooh, that was the pussy mobile. No, it was not. It was not. Never got laid in that. Not ever. No one ever has. It was either Beretta or Cavalier. Same fucking piece of shit car. Did you have a Cavalier?
My mother's Cavalier.
Black women love Cavaliers and Berettas, my nigga. 95
96 Cavalier.
I had a 95 Beretta. That's hilarious. It's the same
I immediately know what it looks like in my head, in my mind.
Yo, they made 100 billion of those goddamn cars.
It was like a brownish.
Yep, because they're all brown. Because they're all tan.
It's the same.
Yo, that's fucking funny.
So we were getting out of the car. I parked in this parking lot, and like if you didn't close the door, like if it didn't close all the way, the internal light would stay on, right? Yeah. And so we walked away, and the light was still on, and so I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so I went back. I thought I closed everything, and the light was still on. And then eventually figured out what was going on. I don't remember what it was, but eventually got the light to turn off. So they thought that we were breaking into the car. And so when we were walking right by the baseball stadium downtown, which is at the time was littered with whiteness.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, right. Camden Yards.
Was it Camden Memorial Stadium?
No, this is Camden Yards. This is downtown. Oh. And as we were going to the Inner Harbor, trolling for pussy in the Beretta. This is 2 weeks before I went to college. And they, this cop pulls up on us, and he's in one of these like kind of like a Jeep Cherokee kind of thing, painted as a cop car, and he had a German Shepherd in the back, and he was like,
was it K9 unit?
Yeah, and literally, and he was like, "Don't run, or the dogs will chase you." And I'm kind of like he didn't say anything else, and I'm kind of like, Nigga, what? What the fuck does that mean?
Why would I run?
What? Why would I run?
Yeah, like I was, you know, because I'm just like an innocent high school kid. I've never at that point, the biggest like interaction with police I had was like when Officer Friendly used to come to school. I'm like, I don't know, like I don't deal with any of that world. And he was like, you know, he says this to me, and I was just literally confused. I didn't know what he was talking about. I was like, okay, dogs are fast. I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, go sit on the curb there. And he made the four of us, young black kids, go sit on the curb. And he got out, and then here comes another car. And here comes another car. And then I think it was 4 or 5 cars, all with their fucking lights on and shit.
Yeah.
This is right as a baseball game is getting out. So everyone's like, yo, these niggas killed somebody. Like, that's what it fucking looks like, right?
Yeah.
And it took, like, this is, like, the luck that we had. Like, one, the cop, like, I'm sitting there, and I'm just, like, and I guess it was just my, like, weird situation of, I had never been in a situation like that, and I never knew, like, I guess I just didn't take it seriously. Because I was like, chuckling. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I was like, yo, here's my mom's key. Nigga, my mom's keys, the Beretta keys are right here. It's got Beretta written right on it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, this is my mom's car. Like, relax. And so I just didn't take it seriously. And I was like laughing about it. And the cop literally said to me, and my biggest regret in my entire life is not remembering his name, is he said, yeah, it wouldn't be so funny if you didn't make it home tonight.
God damn, nigga.
Yeah. That's what he said.
What the fuck?
He's a white cop. That's what he said. Which I didn't take as, oh, you're going to go to jail. I took it as, you could just end up dead.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
That's how you should take it.
Yeah, I take it as the most serious. Yeah, I took it on the most serious angle.
Jesus
period.
Christ.
That's what he fucking said. To kids.
God
We're
damn.
dorks. Like, we went to the same high school you went to.
Right.
I mean, look at you, right? Like, I mean, come on. Like, we're not the coolest kids, right? We're just not. I mean, at that point, I got braces and glasses. Like, this is not like.
Yeah,
and I look mad young.
Oh, you look like a turtle back then.
Oh,
Bro.
yeah.
Like-
Relax. The story. You're not.
I mean, now you look like
you're not helping the story at all.
now you look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Which is pretty good.
But yeah, that's a really big step up.
Right,
But
yeah, you're working out. I don't need that much pizza, but okay. Yeah, go fuck yourself. So, fuck you. So that happened, and just through sheer luck. We all had class rings on at the time, and our high school, like, the ring is very, like, specific, right? It's not one of those, like, generic ones. It's like a very specific one to our high school, and we all had them on, just, you know, by chance. And the sergeant or lieutenant came, this woman, and she saw the rings, and she was like, "Oh, you guys go to, you know, Poly, is the name of our high school," and said, "Yeah." And she was like, "Oh, what grade are you guys in?" Like, we're all seniors. We're getting ready to fucking go to college in 2 weeks. And she was like, explain the situation. And I was like, it's my mom's car, you know. And she was like, all right, you guys are fine. Only because she got there.
yeah, damn.
But, like, that could have been a Central Park 5 fucking situation for us. Very easily.
Yeah.
And we didn't do shit. And look, they better thank their lucky fucking stars that white woman came and recognized that ring. Because my mom would have burned that fucking police station to the ground, yo. Are you fucking kidding me? And I'm innocent? Like, I really didn't do anything? We ought to have been a millionaire right now. No, we would have been a millionaire. Should have sued Baltimore City to goddamn death. Are you out of your mind? So, yeah. So, just quickly moving, because Eric's story I don't think it's that interesting, but the infamous night, he comes home, there's a big party for him, his dad's like throwing a party because they're excited because, like, the next day he's got this tournament that he's going to get scouted, right? And he's like, yo, I'm trying to go to this protest. And he leaves the party, and his dad has this conversation with him in the hallway, and he's like, look, like, you're making this choice the day before the most important day of your life.
Yeah, and he's essentially like, you going down, what is the point of you going down there? What is it going to do?
Right.
And here's the one thing that I fault the father is he didn't, I 100% understand what he's trying to do. He didn't frame it the right way. He needs to frame it. he needs to use like a LeBron James as an example of someone who once he established his celebrity through sports, he is able to do way more than just walk around downtown and chant and possibly mess up this opportunity that he would have.
That's actually a very good point.
Like that's how you do it. Right. That's how you reach this kid. Because the kid, he's full of like, he's young, dumb, and full of cum, right? Like the whole reason he's doing it is because he sees this girl and he's inspired by her and he's been harassed one too many times and now he wants to fucking do something. You can do way more if you the way the father kind of does it. He kind of is like, you gotta look out for you. Yeah, it's my job to look out for you. Yeah. But
which is an understandable perspective.
I 100% understand it. But he should have played it differently.
I agree.
He should have, if you want to do this, you can affect a lot more change from being something rather than being just another face in the crowd.
No, I don't disagree with that sentiment. I would argue though, that there is something very powerful about giving a kid a voice very young.
Sure. And look,
but at the same time, if I'm Dad Turk, I'm not sure I'd let my son go.
I don't like.
I shouldn't say that. I would let my son go, but I would be very adamant that I didn't want him to. And I think that's the best you can do for a kid that age.
I had that conversation with my wife. Like there was some sort of protest in DC that she wanted to go to.
The Ladies March?
Was it that one? I don't know if it was that one, but it was the first one that they had
right after he was elected.
Devolved into like crime.
Yeah.
And then they had another one. And I think she was pregnant at the time. And I'm like, I really don't want you going down there. Yeah. Like, and it, we don't have the type of relationship where it's like, I'm the man and I tell you what to do. But
that's a horrible relationship.
Right. But this is
because they never listen.
But this one,
relax. Save your emails.
This situation, I'm like, no, I can't let you go out there.
Yeah,
I don't want you to do this.
Yeah, I've had some conversations. Like, I've had some conversations with my wife because my wife, much like your wife, are very independently minded women, which is why we married them, right?
Right.
Because they're not dullards. But there does come time sometimes where you have to do like that weird like man thing. You're like, I said no, goddamn.
Right.
Like, look, I understand your independence and I respect it. But like seriously, this is fucking crazy. Like, don't do that.
Right.
Like you have to be willing to have that fight sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a hard thread to run because you just want to be like, I wish it was the 1950s and
trying to protect you, girl.
Like, yeah. I mean, my wife was like, I want to go visit my friend in Pakistan, and I was like, no,
I'm sorry.
No. Like, and I tried, man. Like, I can be diplomatic as fuck about a lot of things, and I was just like, you try to like slide the puzzle, like slide the chess pieces around. You're like, but what about if you go here instead of going here, and then maybe on like, maybe you could meet in India where that would be a friendly and less violent place, and then, but I know the bombings only are happening here, but they might happen over here, and then a bombing happened really close to where she was going. I was like, and victory, you're not going. Fuck that. But that, like, I was trying to, like, you try not to push too hard because you don't want to be like, no, and then she'd be like, yes, and you'd be like, fuck, I lost. Because you can't. What, are you gonna chain her up? Like, that's crazy. You could.
And I think that's what I would do with my son. So I don't.
You have to give them enough power to make the choice themselves.
Yeah, but you got to present like. You got to lay out an argument. Yeah, you got to lay out a fucking argument, and this is not how you lay out an argument.
Yeah. I mean, he's emotionally hijacked because he's fearful something's going to happen to his son, and I get it. I get it. But you're right. I think the better argument is you can do so much more from a LeBron perspective than you could ever do from just being some kid who gets maybe punched in the face or gets his arm broken or arrested or anything.
Right. Like,
Fuck
this
your whole
is...
Yeah. Terrence, what do you think of that too?
I wouldn't want him to go. Like, I just wouldn't want him to go because, again, like there was actually a part in "Always Be My Maybe" when the woman said at the dinner, we was like, "I'm going to talk to Keanu Reeves because I want him to do some work for
her charity or
for
whatever.
her charity center or whatever." He's like, "Yeah, he's a big name. He can do more than you could, nigga."
Right.
So he's like, people know you can do more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take a little bit more time, and there's no guarantee you're going to get anything done tonight.
Right.
You're not going to get anything.
I mean,
done
the reality is you're not.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I get where you're coming from, my nigga, but like, it's not going to change nothing.
like, I understand these marches. I understand these protests.
Yep, I've been a part of them.
I've been to a couple of them.
Yeah, and you have to just realize that like fixing it isn't the thing.
Yeah, that's
Like,
not
it's just
like it's not gonna do anything.
right.
But I'm not saying don't do it.
It's
like
more symbolic than anything else.
right. But people need to see it. But I don't want you to be
The one scene.
right. Right.
I mean, yeah, I hear you.
You know, and I wrestle with that. Like, am I being selfish or? But you know, yeah. But at the same time, like, I just, you know,
It's my kid. It's my kid.
right? And this kid ends up going. Shit devolves because, of course, it does, right? And everybody's panicking. The police are I forget who throws the tear gas first. I think it's the protesters.
Right. Well, immediately when they're there, the police are like, "This is an unlawful protest." And I'm like, but that's not how the Constitution works. But,
Right. They use that shit so much it's on a recording.
yeah, they're like, right. Say something else. It's like, yo, this doesn't sound new. Like, dear Martin Luther King, get out. Like, oh, that's what that's part. Like, yeah, no, it was weird. Like, it was super weird. But like, it's not illegal to gather and to protest. Those are literally things protected by the Constitution. I never understand that argument. You need to leave. No, we don't. Like, no. Unlawful gathering. No, it isn't.
So shit devolves, and he runs back home, and you know, Dad is just kind of disappointed.
He literally doesn't even say anything to him.
Yeah.
Like,
I
walks
told you.
off.
I told your ass.
And then we get some montages like this. A lot of this is just fucking lame.
Yeah, it's he basically at this point he
goes to his tryouts or whatever, right?
The tournament or whatever.
And he does what he exercises his right, and this is 100% what you should do, right? He wears a I am Eric Garner shirt, and I don't have a problem with that.
No, I didn't either.
Like, if you want to protest like that, if you want to make a statement when eyes are on you,
that's
like people are of influence are on you, like, this is how you do it, while trying to, and even then, I mean, people might ostracize your ass.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, that was my thing too. Like, I get it. But again, had his dad made the argument properly, like you said, I'd be like, look, I understand you want to wear the shirt. I truly do. Maybe you don't wear the shirt now. Get on the team.
Yeah.
Get on the team.
Once you got your foot in the door, man.
Right. And look, we have to recognize that everybody doesn't think like us, and I think that's okay. And I would also say that I expect some level of pushback from people on this point, because I think it's a good one. And I can understand both sides of it. Do you fight early or do you fight later, right? Because there's always going to be a later. Someone could make the argument, right? Which is a valid point. But I would say that if your intentions are honest, then you are always pushed into that situation where you're trying to actually be in a situation that you can be, push back and say what you're going to say. But at the same time, like, is it a better idea to try to fix things from the outside, or to get into the system and try to fix it from the inside? That has always been the argument. Well, and I think a lot of people tend to fight on that. I personally think it is sometimes easier to get into a system and change it than it is to change it from the outside, because you don't have the influence.
Well, I think you need both.
I think you have to have people on both sides, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying as an individual, which do you do?
As a black person, I think it's hard either way.
Yeah.
But to affect some sort of change, you got to do it from the inside, because we are screaming at the top of our lungs, and nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. But I think if you're inside, I think from the inside you can almost tear down the system.
It's that spook who sat from the by the door thing.
Yeah.
You gotta corrode the shit from the inside. You gotta fix it from the inside out.
Yeah, but that's also really hard, right? Because the idea, but I mean, from an argument perspective, it's a really hard idea, because if you say, well, I'm going to join this organization that's fucked up and racist or whatever, and I'm going to try to fix it from the inside. But it's also possible that you can be corrupted because you're on the inside.
Yeah,
if you're not successful.
You got to get in there to begin with.
Right. Like you gotta play the game to be like, no, I don't think black athletes should kneel. That's totally fine. And then you get inside and they're like, now if you kneel, you're gonna lose all this money and bitches and everything. And then you be like, but I like money and bitches, right? Perhaps, or dudes, whatever you're into. And so maybe you get corrupted and you get swallowed up by the system. But there's also the possibility that you lie to get into the system, and then you're a Colin Kaepernick or you're somebody like that, and you do stand up or kneel down in his case, right?
Right.
And then you start to break parts of the foundation of that system from the inside. That there lies the argument of like, does it work? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. And then the other side is, if you're on the outside, like you said, you're screaming, trying to get in, and nobody's noticing you because they don't have to.
They don't have to.
This is the closed system. Fuck you.
Right.
Done.
They don't have to look down there at you.
Right.
We up here.
Right. But also there's the argument that if enough pressure from the outside happens, the inside can literally not ignore it. Right? Because you're afraid in your little castle that enough people gathering on the outside of the castle are going to come and burn it down.
Yeah.
So you have to go, all right, we'll open the gates. Like, yeah, I mean, it is a good argument both ways. I don't know that there's necessarily a right one, but I think, like you said, having a group on the outside trying to force change, and a group on the inside trying to force change, you get more things done.
Yeah.
Hollywood is the best example of that, right?
Yeah.
People trying to make movies and get movies made from the outside, and then the black actors that have made it pushing for progressive shit from the inside. And then you go, oh, look, Ava DuVernay. Like, she's one of the things kind of rising out of the ashes of all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. I think that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
I think our conversations were far better than the movie.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
The movie was just...
And nothing was tied up. He just walks out with his
Yeah, he just walks out with a shirt on, and
no one says anything.
Yep. Cut to black. All right.
There you go. All right, that's it for us. That was episode 153 for Monsters and Men, and we will see you guys next week for another preview episode.
See you.
Take it easy.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present, and every other week we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.